summary about Act 2 from Much Ado About Nothing. The first scene starts with a little family powwow, and they talk about 3 different things. The first thing is that Don John never came to dinner. The second thing is that they joke with Beatrice about how she's never gonna get married and have a husband if she continues to make her witty and mean remarks, and she says she's okay with that, dying a spinster. And the third thing is that Leonardo wants his daughter Hero to accept Claudio's proposal if he makes one. This next scene is a big one, so hold on tight. It's time for a little bit of a masquerade. So, first it starts off that Don Pedro is asking Hero to dance with him. Then his servant Balthazar flirts with Margaret real quick. And then Antonio and Ursula dance as well. So you've got 3 couples hitting the dance floor. Off to the side, Benedict and Beatrice are meeting up, and she talks very badly about Benedict, not knowing that it's him because, they're wearing masks. And he kind of leaves a little bit angrily and saying that he's going to be sure to tell Benedict what she said. Kind of in the meantime, Don John and his dude Baracchio show up and tell Claudio that Don Pedro only wants Hero for himself. And as you can imagine, Claudio doesn't like that very much and gets very sad and depressed. After that, Benedict and Claudio meet up and they kind of start to leave, but Don Pedro shows up and they accuse him of betraying his friendship to Claudio by pursuing Hero for himself. Don Pedro, of course, denies it and insists that he was just trying to help the couple out. Hero, Beatrice, and Leonardo are starting to come their way, so Benedict splits and says he doesn't want to hear anything that Beatrice has to say anymore, so he leaves the group. They all meet up, and it is revealed that Don Pedro successfully wooed Hero for Claudio, and it's a done deal for Claudio and Hero to get married. Beatrice leaves, and then the rest of the gang decide that they need a plan to matchmake her with Benedict so they can have yet another marriage in this comedy. This next scene is a short scene, but it's your classic villain scene that I'm sure you'll enjoy. It starts off with Don John being very unhappy about the upcoming wedding between Hero and Claudio. He's talking to his friend Baracchio, and they devise a plan to have Claudio and Don Pedro catch Hero being unfaithful. Skip to the next scene, and you've got Benedict walking in the garden by himself, talking to himself about he does not want to fall in love how Claudio has. He quickly sees Claudio and Don Pedro approaching him, so he decides to hide in the bushes and hear what they have to say. As Claudio and Don Pedro are talking, Balthazar shows up with his guitar and plays them a lovely song. They start a little ruse after the song ends, talking about how Beatrice is in love with Benedict. Is it possible? Is it true? We don't know. Of course, Benedict is nearby and hears this, and he kind of has a change of heart. He decides that maybe he'll be nicer to Beatrice and maybe even decide to marry her. Well, speak of the devil, she walks in and she's like, hey, it's dinner time, and he's being awfully nice and she's being her usual mean self. And that's the act. I hope you enjoyed this short little summary of the Act 2 of Much Ado About Nothing, and furthermore, I hope you enjoy our reading of it.